Good morning once again. Welcome to my channel. This is Beyond the College Initiative, a platform that has been created to support youths and those who are already in the university, who are pursuing ICT-based disciplines. We are still on algorithm design, and I want to come up with another example that will give you a solid background in how to design algorithm for any problem of choice. The question I have here says, design an algorithm to add integers from 5 to 80 and analyze how the output would be generated by a computer system. Why I always use this approach to teach my students is to ensure that they have a good start, they have the ability to reason well, and of course, they understand the principles involved. I'm starting this one from scratch. I've not written it. I want you to join me in writing it. Each time we want to get engaged in software development process in computer science, we always are very aware of the stages involved. The very first one is problem analysis or problem definition, while the other one is design. The one I'm focusing on is how to design a solution in computing using algorithm. When you look at this question, the question is clear. We have been asked to design an algorithm. To do what? To add integers. From where? From 5 to 80. 5 is the starting point. 80 is the terminating point. We are also asked to go ahead and try to do a proper analysis. In that case, we are going to have a table that will be a demonstration of how computer systems would have done the computations of adding integers from 5 to 80. When you look at a problem like this, in a normal circumstance, when we are adding values that are a bit in a range or probably are many, most times we use loop. Anyway, in subsequent videos that will be focusing on programming for beginners, we'll be covering that. But because we need to link that into algorithm design now, because if you cannot design a good algorithm, there's no how you can implement any good software solution. So I must have chosen that I start my algorithm, and of course, because I'm talking about adding values, I will need one variable. Which in this case we call index variable, that will enable me to use a loop statement to accommodate all the values from 5 to 80, which are 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 80. Also, because I want to engage in addition, I need another variable, which will be second variable for the addition. What we use index variable to do is to reference each value within the loop in this case. So, having started my algorithm, as expected from a good characteristic of an algorithm, I must initialize my variable. The second variable here I want to use is sum, and the index variable I want to use is k. In subsequent video, I will be explaining how to go about all this. So I have a variable. A variable is a storage location. This sum, I will now initialize it. What this one means is that I have defined a variable sum and I want it to have empty value. After that, I put my for loop and I say for k is equal to 5 to 80. This is the for loop that will allow us to be able to reference each element of the values that have been defined for us in the question. And the question is for us to add. So the variable that I want to use to store, that I've initialized initially, will now be equal to sum is equal to sum plus k. When you look at the logic of this new sum will take the initial sum 0 plus the first value of k, which is 5. And that is going to be 0 plus 5. And it will store it in this one. And then for it to go and take another value of k to return, this k would have moved away from 5. So having done this, I can now print sum. And then you say stop. Or you can put end, as the case may be. If you look critically at this A good computer science student that is just learning must take his time to study this explanation. And that is what I want to do here, a critical analysis. Anytime we are doing a kind of analysis like this, we want to test a good understanding of how this program would have run on computer. If I want to write this in a program, this is an algorithm. If I want to translate it to a program, I must choose a programming language, whether it is Python, whether it is Java, C++, and so on, depending on which language the lecturer wants you to learn for that particular semester, or which language of choice are you learning on your own. If I need to do a proper analysis of how computer will do this, before the loop, after the loop. Before the loop, I only have a variable. Sum is equal to 0. After the loop, there are two variables. I have k and I have sum. When you look closely at it, the first value of k is 5. And as at that time I'm entering the loop, whereas this here one is 5, the sum here, you have sum is equal to sum plus k, which implies that the first value here will be, which implies that 0 plus, what is the first value of k? 5. So here, my sum here is equal to 5. When the loop, when this meets, when the program control meets next k, it goes back. K is no longer 5. K is now 6. And at that time, my sum is now 5. So it now be 5 plus 6. This one will be 11. The loop goes back 7. And that one will be, and this case now, it will now be C11. You have your 11 plus 6. This one is 17. If you can see, okay, we have this, for this way, this is 6 and 11, and it goes on like this. The logic I'm trying to explain here is this, because I don't want this to go long and long. There are subsequent classes whereby I'll be explaining. But what essentially I'm explaining here is that whenever you have an algorithm like this, you must have a mastery of how the algorithm works. And to have a mastery of how it works, you must understand how the operation takes place before and after, and what are the values that each of the key variables there will be picking at a particular point in time. Thank you.